All right, everyone. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video. The first time I recorded it, 25 minutes in, I realized the audio wasn't actually getting captured, which was awesome. In this video series, we're going to be creating this project here, this really basic looking menu website. And what we're going to do is if we hit the reset button, we lose everything. If we hit menu, we get the full menu. Vegetarian is only the vegetarian options. In-stock items only gives us the items that are currently in stock. And sale will show us all the items, but the price is halved. And this is going to show us some good practice on how to use objects and arrays to work smarter, not harder, for our projects. And we're going to be incorporating some third-party live tools like Parcel and learning a little bit about Node.js and NPM in this video series. So this first video is actually like semi-optional in the sense that we're going to be installing some things you don't need, but will make your lives easier. You will need tools like this at some point, so it's really smart to follow along, because even though we can just use live server and watch SAS, in the future, you'll be required to use Node and NPM, so it kind of makes sense to just learn it now with me, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is install Node.js. So we're going to click on long-term support. Whoops. Home. Let's try home. I'm stupid. I'll go to downloads. We're going to use the long-term support version. Windows or Mac, obviously your particular operating system. I already have it installed, so I'm obviously not going to do that. So you can go ahead and pause and install it. Mac users, some people have reported to me some problems in the past installing it. I have a MacBook. I installed it. I have Macs in my classroom. Installed it on there without an issue. But I know some other people in the past have had some problems. Google it. I mean, you're a smart kid, right? Figure it out. I trust you. Once you have this installed, to know that Node is in fact working on your computer, we can go to CMD, the command prompt on Windows, or we can go to terminal on Mac, and we can just type in node-v for the version. It's 14.5.3 is what I'm on. I assume you'll be on 14.15.5, and that's okay. The minor difference isn't a big deal. What is Node? Well, JavaScript doesn't run natively on a computer. It's for the browser. But Node allows us to run JavaScript natively on our computer. Ironically, it's built in, I think, C++. But it's gonna be useful for its primary purpose is for building servers. However, it also gives us access to Node Package Manager, which is a great resource. So we can install things like animate on scroll, AOS. We can download it and install packages that make our lives easier. So can we see the website for this? Homepage. There we go. So we can install a simple package that lets us do this really easily. Cool. We're going to be using NPM and Node to install Parcel, which is a zero configuration bundler. What is a bundler? Well, I told you previously I don't use watch SAS, and the reason for that is because I use Parcel. So Parcel allows us to have multiple SCSS files, and this will bundle them all together for us without using watch SAS. We can break up our JavaScript files in the same way we broke up our SCSS, and this will bundle them for us. It'll also minify our SCSS and our JavaScript files, so it'll remove spaces and things like that to like shrink the file size for the end user. So it's a really useful tool. I like it a lot. It's not the only tool to use this. This is definitely not the most popular tool. The most popular tools are Webpack and now Snowpack are really gaining popularity. I don't like Webpack, especially for kids, because it requires a lot of configuration and it's pretty tedious and really annoying when you just want to get up and running. Snowpack is something I am looking into because it's getting really popular and it looks like less configuration than Webpack and is, again, really powerful. Whereas Parcel has no configuration, so it's great for you people because you're scrubs. So if I click Get Started, there's lots of different things that Parcel does. And now that we have Node installed, we can also start using our NPM. So let's go to, I'm going to open up VS Code for a second. And in VS Code, again, I can type node-v to make sure everything's working. If for some reason it's not working for you, but it works in terminal and command prompt, it might be the extensions I have. So I have NPM by Florian Knopp. I have NPM by eGamma. And I have NPM IntelliSense by Christian Kohler. I don't know, if you need all of these or not. I've had them installed for years, so you might as well get them. And what we can do is, once that's installed, we can install Parcel by grabbing this code here, copying and pasting it here. Okay? So this is going to install Parcel globally. So the -G means globally. It's going to install it globally on our computers. I don't need to do that, obviously, because I have Parcel installed. But you're going to do that. You also might see Yarn. If you see Yarn and npm reach for the same database. So if you see something online that says Yarn and then add, just know that if you write npm install, it's going to do the same thing. So if you see Yarn, don't panic and get confused. It's reaching for the same database. Why don't I use Yarn? I don't know. I've always used npm, and I've never had a problem with it. Yarn is something I'll look into at some point, but I've never felt the need. It doesn't solve a problem that I have personally, so I don't feel the need to go and look at something else. So install that. Pause the video. I assume now you've unpaused it because you've successfully installed Parcel. Now we can get up and running. The next thing it says to do is npm init. So before we do that, let us get up and running with our project. I'm actually going to call mine, parcel-template-video because I'm making the video on this. JavaScript folder for me is okay. And the reason I want to actually create a get ignore for JavaScript here, we can just do that afterwards. Create repository. And the reason why I'm not calling this, we're actually going to be building a project called Object Visual Practice. I'm calling this Parcel Template because we're going to save this as a GitHub template so that we can just in the future just clone the template and start a new project with all of our stuff already set up for us, which is a good practice to get into. So Parcel Template, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to use that npm init command. So npm init -y. Why am I not typing in npm init? npm init and npm -y more or less do the same thing. It's going to create this package.json, which allows us to manage all of our packages like Parcel, like animate on scroll. And if you don't write -y, it's going to ask you to fill these things out. We don't need to fill it out right now, so -y is perfectly fine. Now the next thing I'm going to do is install Parcel as a dev dependency. So there's two types of dependencies. If I were to install animate on scroll, I would type in npm I think it's just AOS. I'm not going to do that right now. And it would create something called a dependency list here, and it would list AOS. We're going to do Parcel though. So npm I parcel -bundler, and we're going to say --save-dev. And what this is going to do is save Parcel as a dev dependency for our project. Why am I doing this if we've already installed it globally? Well, if you don't install Parcel as a dev dependency and someone downloads your project, they may not know that you used Parcel for this. So let's do that. The other benefit is if we have Parcel listed as a dev dependency and we clone this repo to another computer that doesn't have Parcel on it, we can just type npm I, hit enter, and it'll look to our package.json and install all the dependencies that we need. So again, if you clone your project to a different computer, if you start working in class and then you start working at home and you clone, the packages aren't going to come with it. You have to type npm I, and it'll install all the packages that you need for this project. If you see here, we've created a node modules folder. This is a huge folder with a lot of subfolders in it. If you see here, we're getting a little bit of an error. And it's asking us, would you like to add node_modules to .getignore? I'm going to say yes, which is great. It automatically created a .getignore for us, which is something we should have done ourselves. And it's going to add node_modules there. So what's going to happen is, if I go to my GitHub desktop, we have a .getignore, we have a package.json, but we don't have that node modules folder. Why don't we have that? Well, because we're telling Git, please ignore this folder. And we're ignoring it because it's really large. So if we were to constantly push this to our remote repository and bring it back down to us on a new computer, it's going to take a lot of time, and we don't need to do that. Especially because package.json here. So if we were to, I'm not going to delete this right now, but if I didn't have this node modules folder, because again, I cloned this to a new computer, I would just type npm I, and it would just look here at the dependencies and just reinstall Parcel for us, which is great. But again, we don't need to do that. It says we have a vulnerability. I'm not worried about it, but we could do npm audit-fix. I don't know if this will work, but we could do that, and it's going to look at the different dependencies of Parcel and try to fix that, like updating the package maybe. So we fixed 0 of 1, no surprise there. So we have Parcel installed. we have Node installed. Let's create our project. Okay. So I'm going to create a new folder called source. And this is going to be where Parcel is going to look to find our HTML, CSS, and all that. I'm going to create our index.html, doc. I'm going to create another folder inside here called SCSS with a main.scss folder. Now your folder structure may not look like this. They may be collapsed in on each other. If we click settings and we type in folder and we scroll down, compact folder is what I have turned off. And it's saying that render folders in a compact form. Single child folders will be compressed in a combined tree. I don't personally like this. I don't like the way it looks. I'm not going to do it. Yours is on by default. If you want your folder structure to look more like mine, I feel this is easier. If you don't, then don't. If you think this is easier, which I really do, I would suggest you turn that setting off. And we're going to do another new folder called JS. Inside there, we'll do index.js. Let's also set up our tests here. So we'll do console.log connected. Save that. In main.scss, body, background, color, red. Okay. Now nothing's going to work just yet. We have to add some scripts here in our package.json. So what are those scripts? Well, the first one we're going to use is called Parcel. It's going to be called start. And we're going to say Parcel source/index.html. So when we say npm run start, we're telling Parcel to start up and look in the source folder and run this file, the index.html. We're also going to make another one called, we'll put a comma here, called build-prod. That's for production. And we'll say Parcel build source/index.html. So what do these do? How do we use these? Let's go to our index. Let's link up our SCSS. So link tag. It's in our SCSS folder, main.scss. Why am I not? Because I yelled at all of you previously, right? Why am I not running CSS here? Well, this source folder is nothing the user is going to see. Parcel is just going to know, oh, he's using SCSS. Let me compile that for him into regular CSS, something the browser can read. And our script tag, which is in js/index.js. Let's run npm run start. It's doing its thing. See, it's running Parcel source/index. I'm going to control click or command click on here. See, it's installing Sass. See how it's installing Sass? If I go down to package.json, I should see Sass now installed as a dev dependency. Great. That's great. Control click. Got our red background. We've got our console. Everything's connected. Wonderful. Let's go back to our project here. So if you see, it was created a dist folder and a cache folder. So the dist folder, if we look, it's actually saying we're connecting to a CSS, which is correct. It is also, and then this JavaScript file. So why does it look like this? It's minifying our JS first. Like, look this, right? This makes no sense. I think it's also using Babel maybe so that we can use this in older browsers. I believe that's what it's doing. Like, see, I was using var. It's using all these things here. But wonderful. Nice, simple background color red. Great. So all that's working. Let's also add to our gitignore, because if I look here, we have this cache and this disk. We don't want all that. So let's go to our gitignore and let's add in .cache and dist. Okay. And they've been removed. Great. Now, we don't need the dist folder, even though this is what's going to be used. So hold on a second. Let's by the way, get out of this, Control C to terminate. Let's also run npm run build-prod just so we can see what that looks like. I'm going to delete both of these. I'm not 100% sure of the differences. I think there's a difference in minification maybe. But But you'll see here it's building the files rather than just running them. And it's giving us sizes, which is great. So it's really minifying that stuff for us. Again, but we don't want any of that in here. So what I'm going to do now is ready for, what's the word called when you cloning? Cloning? Question mark, sure. I think that's what it's called. Publish. I'm going to leave mine open. Let's open this on GitHub. So view on GitHub. And here's everything ready to go, ready to be cloned. So what we can do now is go to settings, change this to a template repository. Now I can use this as a template for all future projects. So in the future, I don't have to, create these folders and these files here or install any of these things. It's just done for me for any future project. And in the next video, we'll start off by using this template to get started on making this project, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and I'll see you in a moment.